On this episode of the Massive Agent Podcast, I'm going to tell you the one question that you guys should be asking your potential clients in your very first meeting.
The Massive Agent Podcast, with lead generation tips and strategies to get you more leads and sell more homes.
I love to buy houses. I like to sell houses.
It takes brass balls to sell real estate.
Wait a minute.
The leads are weak. You're weak.
I've had better.
Oh, have I got your attention now?
Here's your host, Dustin Brohm.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Massive Agent Podcast, episode number 25. We've reached 25, so we're only 25% of the way to 100. That's encouraging and discouraging all at the same time, but it's all good. It's all good. You got to start somewhere, right? So today, I'm going to tell you guys a quick story to remind you to keep planting seeds when you're marketing. Okay, that's what marketing is. You're planting seeds so that eventually when somebody comes across your name or your brand enough, as soon as they're in the right position or they're all of a sudden in the market to need your services, you're all of a sudden relevant to them. They will have seen your name or heard your name or seen your brand or heard about it many, many times. So then once the time comes, they're like, oh yes, boom, Dustin, we need to hire him. So let's see, 2 weeks ago, I was out walking the dog and I got a random text message and it's like, hey, this is so-and-so and we're moving here from Austin, Texas, and we wanted to see if you would help us find a home. Are you available to show some homes tomorrow? And, I text him back and call him back and I'm like, yep, I am indeed. Now, of course, guys, if you're new, make sure that they are a pre-approved buyer. You want to make sure that they could actually buy a house. So you have to ask some of those questions, of course, but that's a given. But as I'm asking questions, I always ask, and you guys should always be asking this whenever you get a phone call or a message out of the blue. You say, hey, I'm just curious. How did you come across me? How did you hear about me? How did you hear about us? However you want to say it. And they're like, oh, well, somebody recommended you in a Salt Lake City moms Facebook group. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm like, who was it? They're like, I don't know, and I'm not a member of that group because I'm not a mom, but I have no idea who that referral came from. But here's what's so cool about that. Because I planted seeds and I've just been in the business for almost 8 years now, I have past clients. So it could have been a past client who recommended me, or it could have been somebody else that's seen the brand, seen the name, seen Search Salt Lake stuff. I have no idea. But something that I've done in the past led to these people who are moving here getting my information and reaching out to me and saying, hey, we want to hire you to help us buy a house. If I had given up on marketing, if I have not marketed effectively, if I quit the business when it got hard, and I'll let you in on a little secret, it's always hard every frickin' day, but it's worth it. Had I given up, that wouldn't happen. They would have called me and I would have been like, oh, no. I went back to detailing cars. I went back to whatever, nope, not in real estate anymore. So you've got to be planting seeds. You have to be getting your name out there. You have to be connecting with past clients. Don't just ignore somebody when the deal closes. That's terrible. Okay. And you don't have to bug them every week. You don't have to bug them every month. Every few months, just, send them a text. Hey, how you doing? I was thinking about you. Or, hey, I was in the neighborhood driving by, just thinking about you. How you doing? Just do that. Stay in touch with people because eventually they're going to know somebody who's asking for a referral for a realtor. And if they forget about you, they can't refer you. And if you've pissed them off and you did a crappy job to begin with, they're not going to refer you anyways. So just keep planting those seeds, keep marketing, keep getting your name out there, and then connect with those past clients regularly. When I say regularly, I don't mean incessantly and annoyingly. Every couple months or few months is fine. Just keep doing it over time. And do it very casually. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to this new episode of the podcast. My name is Dustin Brohm. I am your host. I'm a realtor in Salt Lake City, Utah with eXp Realty. I am also the founder of the Massive Agent Society. It's our fairly new Facebook ad lead gen system. You can find out more about that on the Massive Agent podcast. Oh my God. No, that's our podcast website, with show notes and everything. You can go to massiveagentsociety.com to find out more about the lead gen system and the Facebook ads. And really quickly, 2 quick announcements. The first one is the contest winner. So one of you awesome peeps has won 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 Amazon Echo Dots, because we ran a contest over the last week. I announced it on the last episode 24, and it was a very short contest, but giving away 3 Echo Dots because I'm very serious about voice marketing. I'm very serious about using, damn it, she's plugged in, the A word, Alexa, the Alexa flash briefings and skills and how you can use them to grow your brand. And guys, our flash briefing that's been going on, I've been getting some awesome feedback. The numbers look good and I'm having fun with it. So if you don't yet subscribe to our new Alexa flash briefing.
Here's your flash briefing.
Oh, there we go.
Right now
No, don't need the weather.
It's 71 degrees Fahrenheit.
Alexa, stop. I forgot to turn it off before recording, but there you go. And I could edit this out, but what fun would that be? So all you have to do is open up your A Word app on your phone and type. So click on the little 3 lines in the upper left that they call that the hamburger. Click on the hamburger in the upper left that opens up the menu. Click on skills, search for Massive Agent, and boom, just enable the flash briefing, because every single day I'm bringing you 60 seconds of a quick tip, some inspiration, a story, some marketing news, whatever. But it's a great way for me to tell you what's on my mind on a daily basis. And it's, 60 seconds long. We call it the Massive Agent Minute. And I'm telling you guys, if you're not yet thinking, at the very least, thinking about how you're going to get into voice marketing using Google Home and using the A word, with the Echo Dots, you really need to. And if you don't even understand what that looks like, go back to episode 24. I talk extensively about it and why I'm jumping in head first. I think that voice marketing is going to be absolutely huge. That's why I'm doing this podcast. I think it's such an effective way to market using your voice, because people can listen to you while they're walking the dog, driving to and from wherever. Usually it's the commute. They can listen to you while doing the dishes, listen to you while working out. You can't do that with, YouTube videos. You can't do that with Instagram stories. So that's why voice is so key, is that it could be consumed passively. Get serious about learning voice marketing. Go back and listen to episode 24 again. And if you haven't heard it yet, go listen to it. And then subscribe to our Alexa flash briefing. And also, I put screenshots and step-by-step instructions on how to subscribe to a flash briefing in the show notes on our podcast website, massiveagentpodcast.com. It's the episode 24's show notes, screenshots, shows you exactly how to do it. Get serious about learning voice marketing. Okay, man, I'm just jumping all over the place tonight. I'm an absolute mess. Normally I record this during the day. I'm recording it at night, and my brain's fried. So sorry, but let's be honest. It's not that far from the norm anyways. I mean, squirrels are a common occurrence here on the Massive Agent Podcast. Squirrels are, in fact, our most frequent guest, and that's cool. So the winner of the contest that we ran for the Amazon Echo Dots, Brandy Nelson from Century 21 in Ames, Iowa. Brandy, congratulations. Thank you so much for entering. Thank you so much for listening to the show, and enjoy those Echo Dots. Keep 1 or 2 for yourself and then give 1 away to a client as a closing gift or whatever. I find them to be amazing, amazing closing gifts. And I don't know if you guys know this, but you can just say A word, play, and then the name of a podcast. And it can just play whatever podcast you want. It can do so many things that you're not aware of. So I'm absolutely in love with them. I have one in the kitchen. I have one in my office, and I'm going to put one up in the bedroom soon. And maybe even the master bathroom. I don't know. Hell, maybe the garage. I don't know. But pretty soon, you guys know it, because they already have Apple CarPlay and Samsung, what do they call it? Android Play, whatever. It's in your car. I'm an Apple guy, an iPhone guy, so I don't know. But pretty soon they're going to have Alexa built into the car system. I'm gonna unplug this thing. All right, now we can speak freely without our good friend Alexa eavesdropping and listening to every word. But pretty soon Alexa is going to be built into cars, so then you can just do it in the car. I'm telling you, what we have available right now is just the beginning. So much more is going to come out over the next year. So get serious about it. I can't tell you enough how serious I am and how convinced I am that this is going to be a thing. Okay, now something that I learned a while back. when it comes to meeting potential clients for the first time, whether it's a listing presentation, a buyer consultation, whatever it is, whenever you have your first meaningful sit down or meeting with a potential client, you have to keep in mind that they're going to hire somebody that they trust, somebody that obviously someone they trust to be honest and take care of them and get the job done and to make things easy and less stressful. But you also have to be likable too. So keeping in mind that trust is so big, one of the best ways to earn that trust is to ask them. And this is going to sound stupid. And most of the clients think it's stupid first when I ask it until I then ask a follow-up question and elaborate. But you say, hey, do I have your permission to be honest with you? Is it okay if I am fully honest with you? Word it however you want. But what I say is, do I have your permission to be honest with you? And they always say yes. And they're like, what the hell kind of a question is that? I say, look, guys, as your realtor, you're hiring me to look out for your interests and to take care of you. So if you get yourself into a situation where maybe you fall in love with a house that's really a piece of crap, but you love it for whatever reason, do I have your permission to burst your bubble and to rain on your parade and tell you, hey, that home that you guys are in love with, head over heels about, is a piece of shit and you need to cut it, you need to cancel and go find another house? Is that okay with you? Because you're hiring me to look out for you and to protect you. Do I have your permission to be brutally honest with you, even if it pisses you off? Whenever I say that, and then I'm just quiet, they always say yes. And something clicks in them where they all of a sudden resonate, or I all of a sudden resonate with them. And they're like, okay, this person's probably not full of shit because they wouldn't be asking me that if I couldn't trust them. And it works out. I've started getting so many more clients than I used to ever since I started asking, do I have your permission to be honest with you? Do I have your permission to be brutally honest with you, even if it pisses you off? Always keep in mind that people are going to hire somebody that they know, like, and trust. Trust is huge, and there's many ways to earn that trust, but just telling somebody, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to just be here to tell you what you want to hear and let you lead yourself off a cliff. I'm not going to let you do that. You may ultimately decide to ignore me, but I'm sure as hell not going to be quiet about it. I'm sure as hell not going to sit back and not say anything for fear of pissing you off. I'm going to piss you off, okay? But it's for your own good, and that's why you're hiring me. Now, once you become their realtor, once they officially hire you, you need to continue this throughout. You need to make sure that you're actually following through on that, okay? And don't be scared. Don't be afraid when, if you're out showing houses and you're like, ooh, look, this, if they're all goo goo gaga over a house and you're like, look, well, I'll be honest with you. You have an FHA loan and this thing needs this done, this done, this done. It's never going to pass an FHA appraisal. Or you say, you know what, this thing is priced way too high. It's not going to appraise, or whatever it is. You have to let them know that, but let them know in a way where you're not being a dick. And they know you're not being a dick. You're just saying, hey, look, here's the situation. This is reality. I'm telling you this to educate you and guide you properly so you can make an educated decision for yourself. That's all you're doing. And I'm telling you, your clients will be so much happier. They'll have such a better experience, and they'll respect you and refer you so much more when you start doing this as a matter of habit. You start doing this over time, and pretty soon it just becomes part of your personality and part of how you do business, and it just becomes natural, and everybody gets the same treatment, and that's just how it is. And you don't have to consciously do this anymore. And okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I'm not going to lie to you. If you have to consciously be honest with people, if you have to remind yourself consciously that, be honest with them, don't sugarcoat stuff, you should work on that and maybe do some soul searching, because that's kind of shitty. But if it's just being timid or, not wanting to, especially if you're new in the business and you're like, ooh, I don't want to lose this client, I don't want to cross the line. Don't worry about crossing the line. Just say it respectfully. Make sure they know you're coming from a place of help. Make sure they know you're coming from just wanting to guide them down the right road, and make sure that they avoid pitfalls and avoid bad situations and avoid heartache and stress. If they know that, you're going to be absolutely fine, and they're going to love you so much more than if you just sat back and said, yes, you're right. Yes. And then sugarcoat everything too. I mean, I don't want to work with somebody like that. I just want I want somebody to be honest. This is random. Here's another squirrel for you. Again, welcome squirrel back to the show. I'm one of those people that if I have some shit stuck in my teeth, like if I have a big piece of lettuce or basil stuck in my teeth, it drives me out of my mind if people let me go through the day not knowing. Like if I have something stuck to my nose, tell me. It's like, oh, hey dude, you have shit on your face. Like wipe it off. Like, oh, thank you so much. I honestly think it's more rude. I think it's so much more rude to not let somebody know that there's something on their face, stuck in their teeth, their breath smells, whatever. You have to. It's hard and uncomfortable at first, but you're helping them. It's rude not to let them go through life with breath that smells like actual poo is not okay. So I don't think people want honesty. They want somebody to not sugarcoat things. And if people are going to thank you for it, even if it ruffles some feathers in the short term, it's better for you and it's much better for them in the long term. You have to become one of those agents. And then another tip, in that first meeting, make sure they leave knowing what the next steps are. Okay, don't just leave the meeting like, okay, cool, we met. Let me know. Call me if you want to buy a house. No, make sure, assume that you have their business. Assume right off the bat that you have their business. And then if you had somebody's business, if they had hired you, what would you do next? You would then tell them what the next step is and prepare them for the next however many steps. Let them know what the next step is. Let them know what to expect. Let them know how long it's going to take. Let them know what potentially could come up that they need to prepare for. If they know all these things, especially first-time home buyers, they need to understand the whole process. They need to know what's coming up, what's to expect. They need to wrap their head around the whole thing. And when they do, it's not intimidating. It's not as stressful. They know they can take actions to prevent certain things. It will go so much smoother. They'll have such a better experience. But if you just let them kind of like, okay, well now that we've done an offer, now we're going to need to do a home inspection. Do you guys know what a home inspection is? And now we're going to need your earnest money. Are you familiar with earnest money? They may not. They may be like, well, shit, we don't have any money. You probably should have found that out at the very beginning. Make sure you tell them. Say, look, even though hiring me to represent you as a buyer's agent is not going to cost you any money out of pocket, there's still some expenses that you need to prepare for. There's earnest money, which is a down payment on a down payment. There's a home inspection. There's the appraisal. There's any other inspections or tests that you want to have done. Prepare them for that stuff up front. Day one, they need to know that stuff. If they leave feeling empowered, you've got them. If they leave that first meeting feeling empowered and that they can trust you, you have a client for life. If that has not been happening, if those have not been your results, I want you to reevaluate what your first meeting looks like. If you're not converting very many clients, or rather, if you're not converting very many meetings into clients, there's a problem there. Reevaluate and make sure that they leave empowered, that they leave educated, and that they leave trusting you. That's it. Okay, now as I've talked about on the last couple of shows, we've talked about the Massive Agent Society. But one thing that I am doing now that I'm with eXp Realty and I'm building a nationwide team of agents, I am making sure that those agents, that people who lock arms with me and want to work side by side in building a real estate business, I want to make sure that they have the tools they need to succeed. So everybody who comes to work with me with eXp Realty, you get free access for life to the Massive Agent Society. I know in the past I've said, hey, for the month of June, I'm going to run this promotion. If you work with me, if you join my team, if we're working together, I want to make sure you have the tools you need to sell a crap load of homes. So you're going to become a Massive Agent Society member for free forever. That's it. And if you've ever considered hiring a coach or you've wanted to hire me as a coach or for some mentoring, you're going to get that too. By working with me with eXp Realty, we have this synergy all of a sudden that's created that I haven't seen in the real estate industry before, where I am now directly incentivized to help you succeed. When you succeed, I succeed. That is so powerful, and I don't think people are fully comprehending how valuable and how powerful that is within our industry. Okay, by having somebody else financially incentivized to help you succeed, why wouldn't you want that? That's what's happening right now. If you want to hear more about how we can make that happen for you so that we can work together to do that, send me a message or just go to massiveagentpodcast.com/EXP if you just want to watch the video about what it's all about. But we need to talk. If that interests you, if you like the sound of that and you're like, I'm not getting that at my brokerage, and I'll tell you what, spoiler alert, I know you're not. If you're not with my brokerage, I know you're not getting that, but we need to talk. All right, guys. Now, this is a free show. I do this completely for free. I only ask one thing from you. Please, if you get value from this show, help us spread the word. Share this with a friend. Okay. Send them a message, send them a link, tag them in a post on Instagram. In fact, go follow us on Instagram. I don't know if you guys, I wasn't planning on talking about this, but I don't know if you guys have heard this, but Instagram has announced that they are going to extend the time limit on videos to an hour. Pretty soon, you're going to be able to have videos on Instagram up to an hour long. Everybody's underestimating how powerful this is going to be. It's going to change everything. It's like having everything that people love about Instagram and everything people love about YouTube all together in one platform. It's going to be amazing. So because of that, I'm really doubling down on the Massive Agent Instagram profile. Go follow us at Massive Agent. I'd love to follow you back as well. Send us a message. Just say, hey, I'm a listener to the show. Follow me back. And we will, of course. Just say hi. Love to meet you and hear where you're from, hear your story, hear what you're struggling with. Ask me a question through Instagram DM, through the Massive Agent profile. Would love to start a conversation with you and just hear what's working for you and what's not and see how we can help you to do better. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it so much. This is Dustin Brohm with eXp Realty in Salt Lake City. Signing off. Go sell some houses.